And he explained to me about Gorbachev and these people in the East who betrayed us. I said, oh, that's betrayal, that's not kind of socialism. I said, capitalism has confused you. He said, there you go, all the prophets of the world use capitalism. I said, of course they are. I'm anti-capitalist and I know the system. He said, what do you mean? I said, it's confusing your thinking. He said, how is that? I said, it's that you can judge socialism by socialism. He said, well, how do you judge it? I said, you judge no system as adherence. You judge it by its principles. He said, now you give me double talk. You're telling me I shouldn't judge socialism by socialism. I said, that's exactly what I'm telling you. He said, how should you judge it? I told you by its principles. He said, no, I don't understand that. I asked him a question. Do you judge Christianity by Christians? Which of you do? No human being can judge Christianity by Christians, not even by the Pope. When we judge Christianity, we judge it by its principles, all these principles, the thought, word, deed, and living action of Jesus Christ, peace be upon his name. Well, we can judge Christianity by Christians. Why, we would have buried it a long time ago, never to show its face again on the face of the earth. Because those who call themselves Christians and have killed in the name of why, it's terrible. It's terrible. So you know that Zionists killed Palestinians with God on their side? And the Europeans wiped out the Indians with God on their side? So we don't judge the world by Christians, we judge Christianity by its principles. Therefore, you don't judge socialism by socialism, you judge it by its principles. And anyone looking at the principles of socialism must know it's the just economic system. Just two manifestations that will leave capitalism and socialism. We're saying in a capitalist system, a few people ought to control the wealth of the country, therefore it's not for the rich. A man was telling me the other day about the democratic nation of America. I want to know how can we call the country the richest country in the world with 6 million homeless democratic? I can understand that democracy at all. You mean you got a country that says it's democratic, you got the richest country in the world, you got 6 million people homeless, and this is part of the system, and you accept it? And won't get homeless, and you don't seem to worry about it? Well, I don't like this democracy at all. Capitalism has no democracy at all. It's democracy for the rich. Absolutely for the rich. Do you know that if you are poor and like I am, and have serious problem with health that you could die if you don't have money to take care of your health care? You know that. Cuba is a poor country, very poor country. Very poor country. But everybody in Cuba who's ill is taken care of. Not only that, from the time you're born, a doctor documents your health development until death in Cuba. And it costs the Cuban citizen absolutely nothing. Fidel Castro, a great man, understands that the most important thing for him is the health of his citizens, not the wealth of the nation. In America, you have to pay to go to school. Pay to go to school. No wonder you all get confused. You think since you pay for knowledge, somebody's supposed to get it back from you. You must have happens of confusion. In Cuba, every citizen goes to school scot-free to any level they want, free of charge, completely free of charge. It's simply because in Cuba, the people ought to control the wealth of the country. And since the people ought to control the wealth of the country, it's used for the people. In America, a few people ought to control it, therefore the wealth is used for those few people, not for everybody. It's as simple as that. Anyway, I'm a socialist, and I need to tell you that socialism is coming to America. I need to tell you that as a fighter in the 60s, I want to tell you that America is more ripe for revolution today than it was in the 1960s. More ripe. And one of these aspects, political aspects that you can see, and I can show you to see how right America is. In the 1960s, it was the progressive and left-wing forces in this country calling for change. The right-wing forces supported the government. They wanted no change at all. They wanted to maintain the status quo. But today, the right-wing forces are fighting against the government. It doesn't mean that they're fighting for the same things the progressive forces are fighting for. But since the right wing is fighting for change, and the progressive forces must have change, the possibility of change becomes easier. Perhaps the most important aspect of why we know that America is more ripe for revolution today is the human aspect, because the revolution is people that make revolution, not things. Conditions can quicken their consciousness, but it's the people that make revolution, not the conditions. And the people in America today are far more conscious than they were in the 1960s in every aspect. In every aspect. The American capitalist system and its media, which lies all the time, would want to have you believe that the American people are less politically conscious today than they were in the 60s. Nothing is further from the truth. In every aspect, they are more politically aware. As a matter of fact, in simple things such as abortion, the people in America are politically polarized over the question of abortion. On the question of busing, they are politically polarized. The question of women's rights and women's liberation have taken great leaps and bounds since the 1960s. No woman today will accept what women accepted in the 1960s. That's clear. No young woman in university will accept what a counterpart accepted in the 60s while struggling. That's clear. The ecology movement has broadened and deepened everywhere. Therefore, people look seriously at American life, not through the eyes of the capitalist media, which lies all the time. You will see that people in America are certainly more conscious today than they were in the 1960s. And when you have rising conditions, rising consciousness, and worsening conditions, you must have an explosion. That's crystal clear. That's crystal clear. Therefore, America is more right for revolution than it was in the 60s. We're very happy about this because this is our life's work, to make revolution. And especially in America, because people think America is such a specialized country. Of course, the struggle begins from the first time there's oppression. Most people in America think that somehow the struggle of Africans began in the 1960s. We will stop this concept quickly. From the first time the first African slave was snatched, struggle began. And if one would look properly at African history, one would see there were struggles on Africa against slave catchers and slave raiders. If one would look on the ships, one would see revolts everywhere on the ships. If one would look throughout wherever slavery was, you would see rebellions. We can truthfully say that wherever slavery led, rebellions faithfully followed. Everywhere there was slavery, there were rebellions. Therefore, we can truthfully say that the Africans fought in Africa on the seas, and everywhere that slavery took them against slavery. And it's this constant, uninterrupted struggle, and this alone that advances that struggle. Capitalism will try to confuse you. It will try to let you think that young people just advance haphazardly. That at one time they couldn't get in here, and then they just got in here. At one time they couldn't get in schools like Dekab, and now they just come. No. Frederick Douglass said it best. Where there is no struggle, there is no progress. This point must be properly imposed upon your mind that without struggle there is no progress. Certainly you know this as students. If you go to biology class and you do not struggle with the concepts of biology, you will not acquire knowledge of biology, not by osmosis. Very way you acquire this knowledge of biology is by struggle with the concepts, coming to master it. And we all know the student who struggles with the most difficult concepts and comes to master these concepts will be the most advanced student in the class. Therefore, it is clear it is only through struggle and struggle alone that we advance. Therefore, those of you who do not like struggle, do not like progress. Now, I must tell you one other thing, because the American capitalist system is such a backward system that makes you think that all you have to do is work for a little while, and then after you work, you just sit back and enjoy life and consume more than you produce. What stupidity. It makes you sit like an animal. Animals consume and don't produce. Human beings consume and produce. And a conscious human being knows that they must produce more than they consume to leave more for those who come after them. That's clear. But if you're not careful, you will think that you will go to college for 4 years, and after you get a nice job, you won't do nothing, just sit back, have a nice car, a nice house, and do nothing, just consume. Stupidity. You must think always of producing. And if you think always of producing, you think of looking for difficult problems. I'm a revolutionary. I never look for easy problems. Any slave who looks for the easy way out will never get out. The slave who looks for the most difficult way will not only get out, but will never return to slavery. As a revolutionary, I look only for difficult problems, and the most difficult problems. The more difficult the problem is, the easier you solve it, the more confidence you have in your ability to solve all problems. Therefore, we want to make it clear to you that struggle is eternal. You must not, as students, think that you only have to struggle for your people when you're a student, and then when you get married, you stop struggling. You must understand, like Harriet Tubman, that you take struggle to the grave. This is the only way to truly understand life. So the civil rights movement in the 1960s, which Malcolm X correctly called the human rights struggle, was a struggle in which Africans fought against overt segregation and against overt political repression, especially in the area of voting. This struggle was carried on using many different tactics. In the beginning, the foremost tactic was one of nonviolence. Now you hear me, I use it as a tactic. Martin Luther King is a great man. Nobody can take that away from him. Martin Luther King is the best example of a living Christian. one who comes to think about feeding the poor, one who comes to think about freeing the slaves from oppression. But Martin Luther King, like all men, like all women who do anything, makes errors. And certainly it's our responsibility, those of us who are involved in the same struggle that he's involved in, the same level of intensity he's involved in, must come to correct those errors. One of the errors that Martin Luther King made in relationship to social reality, or I must tell you something about social reality, or social truth. There is a thing such as truth, and there is a thing such as social truth. For example, all right, I'll give you a truth. Truth is that the most impressive way of affecting and impressing an idea on the minds of our people today is through audio-visual means. If you hear something on the radio, it might escape you. If you see a silent movie, it might escape you. But once you put both of them together, it has a powerful effect upon the mind. That's the truth. Now, social truth is that most people in America, everything they see on television or in the movies, they think is true. Of course, there's a contradiction here, but it is a social truth and social reality. They do believe that what they see on television is true. You know, most people believe that the movie they saw by Spike Lee about Malcolm X is true. They just believe it's true, you know, so that's a social reality. So we have to deal with social reality while we deal with truth. And of course, it's why it's a social reality represents a social truth, you know. For example, in the 1940s, many white people thought that they could just lynch an African when they wanted to because they were inferior. Whether Africans knew this wasn't the truth or not, there was a social truth here. They could come and lynch you. So you have to always take care of social truth and social reality. The social reality was that the Africans in this country have never accepted nonviolence as a philosophy. This is where King separated himself from his people. And this understanding must be properly understood, especially by those of you who talk about the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King was out of step with his people on the question of violence as a philosophy. But now King was an honest man. This is why we love him so. He was so honest, so incorruptible. That's why the masses really loved him. King took nonviolence as a philosophy, as a principle. Now I must tell you something about principles, because American capitalism will confuse you here too. I remember as a college student, Howard University, college student, I think it was my sophomore year, reading a political education book, and this is what it said. In America, politics is the art of compromise. I laughed. No one is like that. And they went on to explain, you know, you have a give and take, and somebody gives and somebody takes, and then you have one side and that side, there's this round and this round, and there must always be gray area and middle ground. I laughed again. I'm a revolutionary. My life is guided by principles. Where principles are concerned, there is no middle ground. As a matter of fact, the press always say, oh, Mr. Kwame Ture, he's too harsh. For him, there's no white, there's no black, there's no gray, there's just white and black. That's correct. There's no in between. That's correct. There's no middle ground. Everything is on one side or the other. That's absolutely correct. I'm a revolutionary. I found the principles, but you know this. You know where principles are concerned, there is no middle ground. Either you lie or you tell the truth. Where's the middle ground? I told a white lie. You lied. You know the test you cheat or you don't cheat. There is no middle ground. Where principles are concerned, there is no middle ground. If your people are oppressed, either you're fighting to help liberate your people, or by your very act of inaction, you are against your people. There is no middle ground. Where principles are concerned. Therefore, since Dr. Martin Luther King made nonviolence a principle, he knew that it could not be compromised. Because once you compromise the principle, you abandon it. If you come into Dekab as a freshman and you say as your principle you will never cheat, once you compromise, you've cheated. You've given up your principle. Therefore, where principles are concerned, they cannot be compromised. An honest man, an honest woman must die standing up for their principles rather than compromise them. This is crystal clear. You see it everywhere. Even in the fight for Christianity, the fight for any principles to make them establish themselves. Therefore, where principles are concerned, there is no middle ground. Dr. King was an intelligent human being. He knew this. Therefore, once he took nonviolence as a principle, he could never compromise it. And he was forced to say the only, underline the word only, the only way we can achieve our liberation is through nonviolence. We say this is an error. And Dr. King must have known this error from social reality. If we would go back to the early history of the Montgomery Improvement Association, the movement which Dr. King was the leader of, we will see that in the early days there, his house was bombed by terrorist groups, racist terrorist groups, dynamited. And when Dr. King's house was dynamited, the African community in Montgomery was stealing mad. They wanted to pick up guns and go shoot some white people. And Dr. King came out, you know, Dr. King was a great man. He can calm anybody. He calmed them down. He just, you know, he just do it. I'm telling you. I've seen him do it so many times. Just calmed them down. Just made peace. And then told them, no, there's no need to do it. And of course, started preaching all his nonviolent principles. And then he said, let's go back into the house. And they asked him, do you have a gun in the house? He said, no, he's not violent. He's going to keep a gun in the house. They told him, we're putting bodyguards on your front lawn and around your house. He said, no, no. They said, yes, yes. He said, no, no. They said, yes, yes. And they put the bodyguards around his house and he had accepted. So if you would look at Dr. King's development, you will see from the very beginning, Dr. King understood that he was isolated on this principle of nonviolence as a principle. He was isolated from his community, not just all. He was isolated. So Dr. King, of course, brought nonviolence into the struggle. Now, you must understand something about nonviolence. Again, you know, unfortunately, most of our history is written by those who didn't participate in history. You know what the Chinese say? No observation, no right to speak. The Chinese are great. The Chinese are great. No observation, no right to speak. And then again, those who write our history do not have a proper understanding of our history. So most of the people in the history books, you know what they give Dr. King as his greatest contribution to us as a people? Dr. King brought nonviolence into the movement. This is his greatest contribution. What nonsense. In the first place, Dr. King is an intelligent man. And certainly as an intelligent man bordering on brilliance and genius, it doesn't take anything for him to adopt nonviolence from India and bring it to America. Anybody can do that. Dr. King was a brilliant man, genius. Dr. King's greatest contribution to us as a people was not to give us nonviolence. His greatest contribution to us as a people was to teach us how to face the enemy without fear. This must be properly understood. I remember once after Black Power, when discussing with Dr. King about this question of guns, he said, well, Kwame, why do you all have to have guns? I said, well, really, Dr. King, our picking up guns is thanks to you. He said, to me? I said, of course. He said, how's that? I said, you taught me how to face the white man without guns. You taught me how to face him non-violently when he had guns. He had billy hoses. He had water hoses. He had clubs. He had cattle prods. He had everything. I had nothing with the righteousness you gave me. So if I could face him without a gun, you know, ain't gonna take nothing, Dr. King, to face him with a gun. So you must know the contributions, Dr. King's greatest contributions. He taught us how to face the enemy without fear. I would see Dr. King come into a southern town. Yeah, the people were completely afraid. As a matter of fact, a white man is walking on the sidewalk, and African is walking the sidewalk. The African gets off the sidewalk. I've seen this in my life. I've seen towns where the white man will tell us, Mississippi, you got a curfew. We don't want no African out here after 7:30. And they find no Africans on the street after 7:30. I have seen this in my lifetime. I've lived this. And Dr. King would come to one of these little towns and say, we're going to turn this town upside down. Oh, Dr. King, these white folk ain't like the other one. They need down here. He said, we're going to bring justice down here. No, Dr. King, you ain't going to bring nothing down here. You white folk don't have nothing down here. He said, we're going to turn the town upside down. We're going to bring justice in here. Dr. King, we ain't got nothing. We can't do nothing. Dr. King looked at them. He looked at this guy and said, my God is a mighty God. He makes a way out of no way. Let's go, children. He knows people get up. And those same people who a few weeks ago were bowing and scraping before white people, Dr. King will fill them with righteousness, and they will face the same sheriff, get beaten by him, not get afraid, come back again, and come back again, and come back again, until they stood up on their feet like men and women. Dr. King's greatest contribution to us as a people was he taught us how to face the enemy without fear. We must be able to thank him for this. On this question of Black Power was raised as a square challenge to Dr. King's morality as the basis of arriving at our position. You know, Dr. King kept telling us, oh, you got to be moral and you get where you're going. But it was clear that morality had nothing to do with the struggle, it's power. Power is in the hands of the just or the unjust. That's a question of power. That's all. I think I study all religions. Recommend it to everybody. I studied the Quran, I studied the Torah, I studied the Bible, I studied the works of Yeshua, I studied the work of the Baptists. I studied the religion of the indigenous people of this country, something called the American Indians. Now, theirs is oral. So it means I just spent a lot of time with them, their elders, listening to them. I learned a lot from that. And I am certain that the indigenous people of this country, the American Indians, are just people. I'm certain of this. But even though they were just people, they were wiped out by injustice because they didn't have power. So I was tired of pointing this out to Dr. King, who still couldn't see, so Dr. King, power is what we need. And black power was sent out precisely for this. We need power. We're powerless. Not only were we powerless in the 1960s, we're still powerless today. That's why the struggle continues. I mean, the mockery that they make of us just increases your hatred against the capitalist system. In the 1960s, we had very few mayors in this country. Do you know today the Africans in this country have over 320 mayors? Did you know this? It's your history, you must know it. And these mayors were bought for with the blood of the people. And do you know most of these mayors belong to the Democratic Party? And do you know we have no power in the Democratic Party at all? I mean, what they do to us is really disgusting. We had no mayors in the 60s, and those voters the answer, give the vote, get your mayor, vote for your representatives. We got mayors, and the conditions are worse today than they were before the mayors. I'm telling you, the illusions which they strip against our eyes must drive us to revolution. There is no other solution. If you truly care about your people and want to see their suffering stop, you know that they're suffering because they lack power. That's all. No other reason. And until we get power, we will not be respected, and exploitation will not cease. Power comes only from the organized masses. Power comes only from the organized masses. This is the only legitimate power that we have. So black power was caused on, number one, of course, black power was also caused to question properly Dr. King's nonviolent principle. You know, Dr. King, we're with you, but we're taking guns with us. You know, and if they try to stop us, we're going to shoot at them. Now, the difference between Dr. King and I on this line, of course, the press people make it appear as if there's such big differences. It was only this question. And it's clear. Dr. King would stop only at nonviolent means. If he couldn't get his liberation by nonviolent means, he'd keep trying. The difference between him and I is that once nonviolence is a tactic wore out, I picked up a gun. I'm going to chuck hand grenades because I'm going to be free by any means necessary. The only difference between Dr. King and I, you must not get confused here. He would use only nonviolent means, me, I will use any means to get free. Because freedom for me is the most sacred thing there is on the face of the earth. And all men and women are oppressed by other men and women, not by gods. So the question was to be brought out clearly in black power that we have the right to self-defense. And not only do we have the right to self-defense, since nobody is asking the white terrorist groups to lay down their arms, why do they ask us to lay down our arms? It's just the same thing from the 1787 Hagues-Cuban Compromise. They took away the guns from the Africans and left the Ku Klux Klan with the guns. Well, never will I tell any African in America not to have a gun. Even if they shoot other Africans, keep the guns until you learn to shoot. Just a question of direction, that's all. All right, we started with Pan-Africanism, and we're coming to the final conclusion, the basic conclusion, and we come back to Pan-Africanism. This question of Pan-Africanism, we said in the beginning, was just a process, an evolutionary process, which all people seek to go from smaller social aggregates to larger social aggregates. We showed the example of Africa, where she, of course, was a redhead. Now, this problem of Africa is serious in America. Especially for African students, Do you know that as a student in America going through university, the only things I ever found out about Africa written in the book were negative? So negative was it that even as an elementary school student, they had written in the book that it's true slavery was horrible, it could have been one of the worst holocausts, but Africans ought to be happy because though slavery was terrible, the conditions in Africa were worse. Could you imagine that? Well, the whole book is nothing, the capitalist system is nothing but lies, that's what we said. And they actually had me believing that you should be happy to be a slave because things were so rough in Africa. Of course, their job is to cut us off completely from Africa. The job of an enemy is to make you take the enemy's history and think it's yours. The job of the enemy is to make you take the enemy's culture and make you think it's yours. Once you have the enemy's history and the enemy culture, the enemy doesn't have to worry about you. You will think and act just like the enemy. While certainly we have divergent backgrounds, we must understand these divergent backgrounds if in fact we want to reach common ground. We must come to it honestly. Africans didn't come to this country like others. Others volunteered to come, expecting a better way of life. No African expected any better way of life once he stepped into a slave ship off the coast of Africa. That was hell. And he took a trip to hell to get to America, and all these years later, they still find themselves in hell in America. These are clear facts. And must be properly understood. Therefore, those who came to America for other reasons, they have fulfilled these reasons. But of course, the only way to have the Africans fulfill these reasons is to confuse them and let them think that they came to America on the Mayflower. Of course, any African who thinks they came to America on the Mayflower will be confused and think he's having a good time. But Africans who know they came here on a slave ship and see the conditions of their people will know precisely that they have a struggle on their hands. And this struggle for common ground can only come about when people appreciate Africa and her struggles to civilize America. Hear me well. As a people, we don't know what we do, and we sometimes belittle our own history, and belittle it seriously, and sometimes even once we fight over victories. A man the other day told me, "You were in Cuba?" I said, "Yeah, I was in Cuba in January." He said, "When are you going?" I said, "I got to go to Cuba next month in April." He said, "You going to Cuba?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Did you hear what Clinton said?" I said, "Listen, you know, I know my victories. Once my people broke out of the plantation, I will never again ask permission of any white man to go where I want to go." My people want that at the plantation. Plantation, you could move from a plantation unless a white man let you. Some slaves lived their entire lives on one plantation, never moved off of it. Give me a break. After all the blood we shed in slavery, you think I'm going to come back today and ask a white man permission to leave a plantation? You must be joking. My people want that victory. And when my people want victories, I stand on the shoulders of my people's victories. Always want to. Back the other day, he told me, "You're against capitalism." I said, "Yeah." He said, "You'll be happy for America." I said, "Happy for America?" He said, "Yeah. Only in America can you say what you want to say." I said, "When my people first came here, our tongues will come out if we spoke African languages. It's the struggles of my people that put me in a position where I can speak the truth, and I will speak the truth based on the blood of my people suffering. Never America, it's my people suffering who advance me all the way. I know this. Any thanks I have to any advancement in America is not to America, it's to my people." Some Africans get confused and thank America. That's a confused Africa. I will always thank my people because I know my people and I know their constant struggle to advance life. They're the only ones I thank for any advancement in America. Of course, it's fact. So when we have divergent backgrounds, let's look at that. Let me just take this aspect of divergent backgrounds a little bit. No African student at Dekab of African extract can sit next to a student of German extract and be in the same school and think themselves equal. While you're in the university, you'll hear all the great contributions Germany made to the world. You'll hear nothing of Africa. Absolutely nothing. You cannot sit next to a student of Russian extract and think that you're just equal to them. For the 4 years, you hear something about Russia. What contributions it made, you will never hear anything about Africa. Therefore, the African student has a responsibility. In order to get to common ground, we must have common ancestry, common history, and common respect for them. That is to say, before we get to common ground, the student of German extract must seriously respect the student of African extract. And the only way they can do this is when they know of the contributions which Africa has made to world humanity. Therefore, the task of bringing out these contributions lay on the shoulders of the African student. But it is their responsibility to make sure the entire university community is aware of these contributions so they will respect you. Your task is there, clearly. Of course, I know that any man or woman, African or non-African, who does not respect Africa is a stupid man and a stupid woman who knows nothing of world history. This is a fact because of Africa's great contributions to world humanity. If you know anything about world humanity, world history, world civilization, if you would just take a cursory glance at any aspect of it, you will see Africa making contributions to every aspect of it. I do not want to belabor the point. After all, our task here is not to speak of Africa, but while speaking of Pan-Africanism, we must know that unless you are proud to be an African, you will always be cuddled in inferiority complexes. Always. The capitalist system is very good at this. In the first place, it starts our history in America in slavery. Of course, if it doesn't go back to Africa, it starts you in slavery. Look at how vicious this system is. If you start your history in slavery, the best you can hope to be is a good slave. Well, maybe second-class citizens, I guess it means the same thing. But any people start their history must start their history in freedom, because all people started their society free. None of them started oppressed. And if you want to start your society free, the only place you were free was in Africa. Therefore, African students who truly want to understand their history, have a real grasp of their history, must begin their history in Africa. We said when we look at Africa and see their great contributions, we would be more than proud to be Africans. We would take only one aspect of world civilization, of world humanity, to which Africa made contributions, and that is the spiritual aspect of life, even in the manifestations of religion. The very first sacred book in the world is incorrectly entitled the Egyptian Book of the Dead. The correct title should be the Egyptian Book of Coming Forth. This book is written over 6,500 years ago. Africa gave this book to the world. If you will read the Egyptian Book of the Dead, you will find all of the reliable sources and stories and adventures that you find in the Quran, in the Bible, and the Ture. It was Africa that gave to the world the concept of monotheism, belief in one God. And if you would look at Africa at that time, when we were talking about monotheism in Africa, belief in one God, you will see to the east of Africa, in Persia, in Iran, they were worshiping the sun. Further along to the northeast of Africa, there staying east, you will find they were worshiping cows. To the north of Africa, in Palestine, etc., they were worshiping idols. And they would worship idols in Palestine until the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon his name, came in the 6th century to give them a monotheistic religion in the form of Islam. Africa's contributions to world religions are outstanding. Africa gave Judaism to the world. Africa gave Judaism to the world. The first Jews in the world were Africans. I do not say this based on the work of Dr. Ben or Dr. Henry Clark. I tell you this based on the work of Sigmund Freud. American capitalism has a way of hiding books, you know. But a man told me a long time ago, no one can hide the truth. If you search for it, you will find it. Sigmund Freud's last book is entitled Moses and Monotheism. It's his last book. They never talk about it, but it's in the library. You know, your job is to read. Your job is to read as African students. Thank you. There it is, a copy. You're on time. Excellent, brother. Excellent. Excellent. Moses and Monotheism is an excellent book. If you would read this book, Sigmund Freud, through archaeological, through geographical, through historical, through even psychological proofs, shows you that the first Jews were Africans, and Judaism came from Africa. It had to come from Africa. It was only Africa that was speaking monotheism. Judaism, chronologically speaking, as the first universal religion, speaking of monotheism, had to get its breeding ground in Africa. They could get it nowhere else. Anywhere else, they would have killed it. It was only in Africa. Thus, of course, Jews in the world of Africans. I know this is a conscious African. Therefore, I can never be anti-Judaic, will as I express will never stop saying this. How can I be anti-Judaic? I'm a proud African, trying to show the contributions Africa made to the world. Africa gave Judaism to the world. How can I be against Judaism? Religions have one fundamental purpose. Their purpose is to impose moral obligation on man and woman. And in a world like today, we need this imposition. Therefore, I'm very grateful. I'm very content.